Hello. Okay, so let's start with this now. Firstly, this is Hina Chauhan from Financial Yari. I am a representative over there. So I'll give you a glimpse about Financial Yari and then we'll hand over the stage to Divya Mishra. So I'd like I'd like to tell you that Financial Yari was founded by Mr. Sandeep Saini on April 2020. It's actually a digital initiative to spread financial awareness of investment of money. It actually merges e-learning and earning services in the financial as well as the investment sector. And we basically deal in various products like the financial learning, even equity and startup research, and even investment and portfolio advice, etc. So now I'd like to welcome Divya Mishra and all of you at this webinar. And I'd like to tell you something about Divya Mishra first, and then I'll hand it over to her. So Divya Mishra is a corporate trainer as well as a voice-over coach. She hails from a very artistic background, being a model and an actor and even a voice-over artist. Her journey actually started from bagging the title of the 14th finalist in 2014 at Femina Miss India. She is actually an ICF certified and as well as NLP practitioner, and she has modeled in top fashion weeks like the India Culture Fashion Week as well as Lakme Fashion Week. And she's very passionate about the power of communication as well as the art of articulation. So, Divya, you can take over and welcome at Financial Yari.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Heenal, for such a lovely introduction. A very warm good evening to all of you. It would be lovely if everyone could come on the video mode so we can make it more interactive and fun. Is it okay for everybody to come on the video mode so we can make it more interactive and fun? Are we all there? Are you with me? Say yes in the chat.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. All right. Okay. So before I say something about myself, I would love to know something about you all. And we have 46 participants in only 1 hour. So the way I would like you to communicate with me is to tell me your name, what you do, and in the end you say today I'm going to be speaking out loud. So when you say that, you actually speak out loud. Okay. So we can start with whosoever we can start. We can start with Khushi Tandon. Are you there, Khushi? Khushi, I can see you, but I don't
Yeah.
see you.
Hi, hello. Yeah. I'm
Hi.
here.
Good evening.
Evening. Hi, Divya.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell me about yourself.
Yeah. So I am Khushi Tandon. I am currently done with my second year from NMIMS Navi Mumbai, and my hobbies. Should I talk about my hobbies? They include painting. I like to play games, and I like to watch Korean stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Khushi. Thank you. You didn't
Yeah,
say
sure.
that you're going to speak out loud today.
Oh, I'm gonna speak out loud today.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Now I can see Dikshit Patel. Hi, are you there, Dikshit? Dikshit, are you there? We only have 10 minutes before we start the real session, but I would love to know something about you all. So I can see Shah, Shivam. Shivam, you there?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Shivam Shah. I am from Batan. I have studied Bachelor of Engineering from SMT SR Patel Engineering College, and now I am pursuing Master of Business Administrative from Ganpat University of VM Patel Institute of Management.
All right. Thank you, Shivam. Hi, good evening. Okay, so next up we have Nandita, by the name Nandita Biswas. Hi, Nandita, are you there? Nandita, are you there?
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, Nandita.
Hi.
Okay. So tell me about yourself.
Myself Nandita Biswas and I am from Brakpur. I did my graduation from Goenka College and currently I am pursuing MBA in Institute of Engineering and Management, and my hobby is traveling, and yeah,
Yes.
it's all about
It's
me.
okay. Thank you. Thank you for your introduction. Lovely introduction. Next up, we have
Thank you.
Akash. Thanks, Nandita. Next up, we have Akash. Akash, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. My
Hi,
name
good
is
evening,
Akash.
Akash.
Good evening, ma'am. My name is Akash, and I'm doing graduation. This is my last year, and I'm from Jharkhand. And my hobbies are to communicate with the peoples and traveling also. Uh,
Okay.
and I'm a freelancer, but I'm a beginner right now.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you,
Thank you.
Akash, for your lovely
Thank you,
introduction.
ma'am.
Thank you. Next up, we have Kushal Mewara, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Kushal, are you there? I couldn't see. Anyone? Gunjan Gupta?
Hello, good morning, ma'am. Good evening,
Hi,
ma'am.
Gunjan. Hi, Gunjan. Good evening.
I'm Gunjan Gupta. I'm from basically Abu Road, Rajasthan. Currently, I'm pursuing my MBA from Ganpat University.
Okay.
And my
Thank
hobbies
you.
are dancing and traveling.
Dancing and traveling. Awesome. Thank you, Gunjan. Thank you. We'll take a few more introductions. Karthik P, are you there? I can see Karthik P. I don't think he's there. Next up, we have Krutbin Rana. Are you there? Come on, guys. If you will not react and respond, it's going to be a very difficult thing for me. You have to react and respond. It's the webinar where we're going to be learning about communication. So it's really important for you all to communicate confidently before we start it. Okay, we have Maitri. Maitri, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon.
Ma'am, I am Moitri from Asansol, West Bengal. Currently, I am pursuing my MBA from IIM and I have completed BCom Honors from Asansol Girls College. In my free time, I love to paint and watch series.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your lovely introduction.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next up, I can see Ravi Patel. Ravi Patel, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Ravi. Good evening.
My name is Ravi Patel. I come from Unja. My graduation completed in SMT SR Patel Engineering College in mechanical engineering. And now I am pursuing MBA at Ganpat University, Kherwa, and my future goals make a good businessman.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for your lovely introduction. I can see Ria Sadhu. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Ria. Good evening. Welcome to my
Hi,
webinar.
ma'am. Good evening. I'm
Would you
Riya
like to know something
Sadhu
about me?
and I'm from Gujarat.
Kim Chu.
Currently, I'm pursuing my MBA at Ganpat University.
All right.
I'm
Awesome.
fine, ma'am. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for asking. I'm absolutely
Thank
fine.
you, ma'am.
I'll take two more introductions. Anybody would like to volunteer and tell something about themselves? Raise your hand, unmute yourself, and tell me.
Yes, ma'am. May I?
Yes, Naina.
Yes.
Naya. Yeah.
Yes. Hi. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, my name is Naiya Gupta and I am from Kadi. I have studied BCom from Hemchandracharya North Gujarat University, and I am currently pursuing MBA in Ganpat University. And my hobbies are listening to music and traveling.
Awesome. Thank you, Naya. Thank you for introducing yourself. Last candidate to introduce before we start the
May I?
session. Yes. Would like to pronounce
nice
your
to-
name. How do you pronounce your
Yeah,
name?
Unnati.
Unnati. Okay.
Unnati Kadia.
Unnati. All right.
Now, so I'm Unnati Kadia from Kadi, Gujarat. I'm a student of MBA at Ganpat University, and I'm completed my BCom in the Hemchandracharya North Gujarat University. And I would like to say something about you. I see your famous movie, romance rom-com. I think you,
Really?
yeah, it was awesome movie
Thank you
and
so
nice
much.
play about. Thank you. Nice
Thank
to
you.
talk to you.
Same here. Thank you so much. All right. So we know a little bit about each other. So I would love to tell you a little bit about myself. Nothing more than what
Ma'am,
is
can I?
useful.
Ma'am,
Yes,
can I?
Isha, please go ahead. Yes, yes.
Myself, Isha Maliba. I am from Nagpur University. I'm pursuing CA right now, and along with CA, I'm doing the BCom from Nagpur University, and I like to um, make myself extrovert. In fact, I'm introvert.
Okay.
I want to explore myself.
Absolutely. You will definitely today.
Thank you,
Welcome.
ma'am.
Welcome to the webinar. Have an awesome time.
Fascinated by your personality.
Yeah.
Thank
Did
you,
you say
ma'am.
something? I couldn't hear properly.
I'm fascinated with your personality. That's
Thank
why
you.
I joined. By the way, I was not means interested in this, but I'm fascinated with your personality.
Thank you. Thank you, Isha. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Okay, all right. So as we are done with a few introductions, we don't have a lot of time. We only have 1 hour, and I just want to squeeze in as much as information I can for you all. So I would like to introduce myself. Only the things that is going to be useful for you, and nothing for me. So basically, I started my career as a fashion model, and apart from that, I have worked in a movie. I've been a theater actor. I have worked as a voiceover artist, and which is why all these fields that I have worked in, the only thing that helped me stand out in this entire scenario was the way I communicate, the way I say things, the way I communicate with people, the way I articulate my sentences to people, the way I present myself in front of others. So when we talk about communication, it's just not how you start talking. It's basically how you present yourself. When it comes to your voice, it could be your personality, the way you present, the way you are dressed, the way your image is coming out as a communicator. So a lot of things depends on that. So being from the fashion industry, being from the place where we where we get the opportunity to learn about communication, where we get the opportunity to learn how to speak properly, how to articulate ourselves properly, and which is why I'm here today to pass on some information that I have learned in all these years. So I once again welcome you all to my webinar. I'm also a mindfulness practitioner and an NLP practitioner, which means a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner. It's a scientific term used to turn your negative thoughts into positive thoughts, and also how to stay in the current moment. So before that, I would like to tell you that I would be speaking in English. Is everyone okay with English? Give me a thumbs up. Say yes. Is everyone okay with English? And also, I'm going to be speaking in Hindi. So we're going to be speaking in Hindi and English both. I hope you all are okay with it. Is everyone okay with it? Yes? Yes? All right. Okay. So before we start this session, I always like starting my sessions with a little presence of moment. I want you all to be in the moment, and which is why I would like to do a 2 minutes mindfulness meditation, which really helps us all to stay in the current moment. Okay, so I would love to have you all close your eyes for a few seconds. You can see me the way I do it. You can just close your eyes for a few seconds and take a deep breath in. Just take a deep breath in and slowly roll it out. Take another deep breath in and slowly roll it out. Now focus your attention towards your nostrils, from which the breath is coming out. So just focus on there. Keep your breath normal and focus on your breath. Even if you're thinking about a lot of things right now, it's okay. But try to come in the moment where we are learning how to communicate in the best manner possible. Just think about what is going on right now. Wherever you're sitting, try to feel the chair. If you're sitting on a bed, try to feel the bed. Try how the bed is touching your body. Just feel it. Feel it for a second. If you're sitting on a chair, try to find out how your feet is touching the ground. Just try to scan all these things. Feel it. Try to stay in the moment. Now, I want your attention towards your feet. And think about your feet. And take a deep breath in and out. Now I want to think about your entire leg area. Just think about your leg area. Feel the sensations. And take a deep breath in and out. Now think about your stomach, your chest, and your throat. Scan your throat till your stomach up and down. See how your breath is going up and down and your stomach is moving up and down. Just stay in the moment and try to analyze it. How your stomach goes up and down while you're breathing. Now take a deep breath in and out. Now think about your face, your head, and keep closing your eyes. I know you want to open your eyes like kabhi aankhein khul jaye bas jaldi se, but try to close your eyes and think about your face, your head, and your entire body. Scan it up and down for a few seconds. Just keep scanning. And now take a deep breath in and out. Now give yourself a smile, a huge smile, like this. Full teeth, sare daant bahar, and smile. And rub your hands. Now rub your hands. And put one hand on your eyes and one hand on your heart. And feel the warmth of your hands going to your eyes and your heart. Feel the love. And slowly, slowly open your eyes. How are you all feeling? Would you like to tell me? How are we feeling? Are we feeling relaxed? Are we feeling present in the moment? Tap it in the chat box, unmute yourself and tell me.
Definitely, it was a best experience. Like I do daily yoga. So it was the same which I do in my yoga session.
Yes, absolutely. Body scanning exercise, which helps you to calm your nerves down to stay in the present moment. Correct? All right, are you with me? So let's start the power of voice. I'm going to be sharing my screen now and we'll start the journey. Okay. Give me a moment. Okay, can you see my screen? Yes?
Yes, now it's visible.
Yes, absolutely. So this is how we start. I start with a little music with the speak out loud session. So I'm going to be starting the music. A little music. Speak out loud. So we stretch yourself a little bit, stretch yourself out. Just put your hands up and stretch yourself out. Okay? All right. Okay, so today we're going to be starting with the power of voice. Now, when you communicate, it's very important that you use all aspects of your body. When you say something, your articulators are involved, your tone is involved, the way you talk is involved, and 4 other elements. Now, the 4 other elements are your tone, your pitch, your clarity, and your articulation. So whenever we speak, हम कभी भी किसी से बात करते हैं, are we really taking care of all these things? Like when we talk to our mother, to our father, to the friends, are we taking care of our tone, our pitch, clarity, articulation? I don't think we really focus on these 4 aspects when we talk. So today we are here to master these aspects of your voice. So number 1, we start with the tone. So what is tone? Like when you talk to your mother, Mummy, आज खाने में क्या बनाया है? Mummy, आज खाने में क्या बनाया है? Mummy, आज खाने में क्या बनाया है? The way one sentence can change the entire mood is your tone. So tone of your voice, how the character of your business comes through your voice. It's not about what you say, it's how you say it and the impression it makes on your audience. So there's one saying in Hindi, if everyone is comfortable with Hindi, I'll just say one thing which is very beautiful and has been articulated by one of the best voiceover artists in the country. And he said that kaun si baat kab kahi jati hai, uska salikha ho, to har baat suni jati hai. Like, whatever you want to say, जो भी आप कहना चाहते हो, if you say, the way you say it is the most important part, right? So when we talk about tone, the tone could be happy, the tone could be sad, angry, threatening, optimistic. It depends on the situation. Now, if you want to talk about something happy, so your tone should be upbeat. Like, for example, if you have a good news, you're working in an organization and you have a good news that the report that you are making, the client has accepted it, and you go to your boss and you say, you know what happened? Clients ne wo accept kar liya. And your tone is little different. People are not able to understand, is it a good news or it's a bad news? So you go to your client, you go to your boss and you say, you know what? That report has been accepted. The way you say it is the most important part. So which is why the tone of your voice from today onwards, I need you all to understand how are you saying the words which are coming out of your mouth, whether it's a sentence or it's a word. The way you say it is the most important part. Okay, so if you have to do a conversation which is sad, it's emotional, so you empathize with that person. You say, हाँ मुझे सुन के बहुत दुख हुआ. What if you want to say to someone who is really sad and you say, you know what, मुझे बहुत दुख हुआ कि आप बहुत दुखी हो. This is not the way you communicate, right? So if you are happy, your tone should be upbeat. If you are sad, you have to if someone is sad and if you want to communicate the way they are sad or you are sad, so the tone has to be something else. Angry, threatening, I hope you don't have to murder someone, so you don't have to use this. And the last one is optimistic. But you have to understand the idea of me putting all these emotion here is that you understand what the tone is. And half of the communication is depending on the way person is communicating a thing to you. So that is tone. Are we clear with the tone? Did we understand what the tone is? Right? Say yes, type yes, if you are understanding the tone of your voice. Okay. Now, next up is the pitch. Now, हम कुछ भी बोलते हैं, whatever we say, उसका pitch high भी होता है और उसका pitch low भी होता है. Like, what happened? What happened? What happened? Could be from here to here. So pitch in speech, the relative highness or lowness of the voice. जब हमको गुस्सा आता है, हमें किसी पे धारना होता है, तो pitch high चली जाती है, right? So this is what pitch is. लेकिन हमको ध्यान रखना है whenever we are communicating in a formal setting, or it could be any other setting which is important to you, you have to understand if you are saying a statement, वो statement का pitch क्या है? What is the pitch of the? You have to understand that. So when you are pitching may, there's two things which needs to be taken care of. Number one is your avoid monotony. Like for example, what if I've come here in this webinar and say, hi, my name is Divya Mishra. I'm going to tell you this and this is going to be happening. This is the voice of that. And I just keep the same pitch and tone while I'm talking to you. You'll be like, what is this girl? Yeah, she's just like talking like a robot, right? So if you don't want to avoid that robotic version of yourself, you have to avoid monotony. So whenever you are saying something, understand the emotion, understand how you want to say it, understand the tone of the conversation. So you have to avoid the monotony. Even if you're talking in a volume 10, but the statement demands something else. So you have to act accordingly. You have to act accordingly. Like, for example, if something is something drastic has happened and you say, you know what, I understand what is going to, but mujhe aisa lagta hai, and suddenly just your tone just changes, your pitch changes. So pitch is something you really have to take care of when you are communicating. So avoid monotony. Just don't talk in the same way in all your conversations. Otherwise, it's going to be just boring and nobody would like to speak to you. Number second is practice saying sentences with different annotations, patterns to change the meaning. So like, what would you like to have? Would you like to help me? Do you want anything from me? It could be different annotations, different way of saying things. Can I help you? Can I help you? Can I help you? It changes. Like the pitch of I is going somewhere else in the different statement. Can I help you? Can I help you? It changes. So this is how, these are the two things which I feel, which I have experienced in my entire career, is that you have to avoid monotony in the pitch section. And number two is that you have to use different annotation patterns to change the meaning of the sentence. Okay. Are we clear with the tone and the pitch? Are we clear? Pitch and tone? Say yes or say no. Are we clear? I can't hear anything.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, good. Then next up is we have clarity. Now, clarity is often considered when we think about content. Structuring our thoughts in a logical sequence and choosing the right words. Like, for example, if you want to say something to someone, like, agar maine aapse koi question pucha that, tell me something about yourself. You know what happened today? I had aloo ki sabzi and matar ki sabzi in the afternoon. But after that, I felt like, yes, today I should introduce myself. What are you saying and how you are presenting it clearly? Your pronunciation, your projection, what are you trying to tell that person? You should just stick to your content and be uska projection kya hai, uska pronunciation kya hai. Basically, there are three things involved in this: projection, pronunciation, diction, and you stay with the content. जो आपसे पूछे जा रहा है, आप उसी का ही आंसर दें, या जो आप बताना चाह रहे हैं, आप उसी को ही बताएं, rather than just going here and there, right? So in clarity, we have number one, know where you're heading. Like, for example, I just told you, agar aapse koi question pooch raha hai and you're suddenly just going haywire here and there, like batate tum aage kisi aur sentence mein chale gaye, then the listener who's listening to you will lose the interest. Like, if you are heading towards the point which you want to make, but you are heading towards somewhere else, it will not make any sense. Number one, know where you're heading. कहाँ पे आप कौन सी conversation करना चाहते हो? Conversation में क्या बताना चाहते हो? That's very important. Number two is accentuate. So basically this means is that if you have an accent to your voice, like we are diversified people. People are from Gujarat, people are from Delhi, people are from Bangalore, different sections of the city, of the country, right? So we all have a different accent. But whenever you say something, even if you're in a formal setting, in an informal setting, it's really important that you use your accent properly, so that people can understand, people can grasp what you are saying. So don't accentuate too much, right? That's what I meant. Now, number three is watch out for and the dreaded filler word. So is a very dreading filler. Like for example, if I say, you know what happened, I was, and this happened, and sir, I would like to say, my name is Divya Mishra, and I was part of Miss India, and I just keep looking here and there, and it doesn't make any sense. People will lose interest in you. Even if you want to take a break, if you feel like that you're not understanding where you're going, if you're not understanding what kind of sentence should come up next, sometimes we forget what we want to say. So you just take a pause. My name is Divya. You forgot what you wanted to say, and you can take a pause and just remember, and then say the next line. Just don't say, you know what, I felt like, stop using all these dreadful fillers in between. And the moment you'll start using a pause rather than using these fillers, you will make a huge difference in your sentences. Last but not the least, with clarity, is like basically actually avoid saying words almost always that usually don't actually essentially in fact mean very much. So you're talking to someone, you're like, actually what I meant to say was basically I should do this. You don't have to use all these words. Like if you are clear about what you want to say, it comes to the clarity. When you know what you have to say, just stick to the content. Actually I wanted to say basically this means something else. Now you are using basically and actually too much that people are actually forgetting what you basically want to say. Yeah, this is what I meant in this fourth section. So number one, you should know where you're heading, right? You should know the content of what you are saying. Number two, accentuate. If you have an accent to your voice, the way you say things, you make sure that people are clear about what you are saying. Number three is watch out for dreadful fillers. Try not to say and ah and just, take a pause. Number four is basically actually just avoid all these things and you will see a great difference in the way you communicate. Although we have a very big section when it comes to clarity, but we don't have a lot of time, and which is why I just, jot these four things down for you all so that you should know what you should be avoiding. Are we clear with the clarity? Are we clear with the clarity? Yes? Yes, or no?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have any questions, please, you can interrupt me anytime in between and ask me anything, okay? Okay, next up is articulation. Now, articulation is a very interesting thing. We feel the art of articulation is such a beautiful thing. If you master the art of articulation, trust me and believe me, you will go places. Now, the production of sounds involves the coordinated movements of lips, your tongue, your teeth, your palate, top of the mouth, which is basically in Hindi we call it talva, which is on the upper side of your mouth. And the last one is respiratory system, your lungs. There are also many different nerves and muscles used for speech. So when you're talking, have you ever thought कि इतना सब कुछ लगता होगा बात करने के लिए? You just talk, we just ramble, we start talking. We don't think कि हमारे lips use or we just, it's very natural because we don't know what is going on. But we can always actually master the art of articulation if we try to exercise all these things together every single day for 5 minutes. I'm going to tell you what those exercises are, but before that, let's learn what the articulation is. Now, enunciation. In under articulation, number one is enunciation. When I say enunciation, it means that your words should come out clearly. Whatever you want to say them clearly. Like whatever words are coming out of your mouth, you have to make sure that whatever you say, it's clear, right? Like sometimes we have this very filthy habit of saying things like, whatever, आज मुझे बहुत कुछ हुआ. आपने कोई statement शुरू किया, and the moment that statement is ending, वो सारे आप इतनी आपको भूख लगी होती है कि आप वो आखिरी के 4 words खा जाते हो. Like, for example, if I say the production of sounds involves the coordinated movement of lips, tongue, and teeth, and palate and respiratory system. We didn't understand what did you say. So basically, when you are starting a statement, when you are ending a statement, whatever words you spoke in between, and also the way you are ending it, it's very important. The most important part of your statement is the way you end it. कभी-कभी हम बोलते हैं ना, sorry, आपने क्या बोला मुझे समझ में नहीं आया. What it means that आखिरी के 4 वर्ड आप खा गए. आप इतनी भूख लग रही थी आपको कि आपने आखिरी के 4 वर्ड्स खा लिए. And now the statement is not clear to us. So enunciation, your words should come out very clearly. And how we can make them clear, I'm going to teach you that after that. Next up is the rate of the speech. अब बहुत लोगों को आदत होती है to talk very fast. बहुत जल्दी बात करने की आदत होती है. And it's very natural. I'm not saying you should change it. But if you are into a professional setting and you people are doing your MBAs, you're into, your masters and your bachelors and whatever it is, I really feel that the rate of your speech is extremely important when it comes to communicating something. Like, for example, if I say something, the production of sound is all the coordinated movements, the lips and tongue and the palate and the respiratory system, there are many different nerves and the speech muscles used for speech. Did you understand anything? No, you didn't. But what if I say the way the production of sounds involves the coordinated movements of lips, tongue, teeth, palate, and respiratory system. So you got my point, right? Like exactly the way rate of speech is important, the way you basically the words coming out of your mouth, the rate of your speech, they both are very much parallel to each other. So whenever you're saying a statement, make sure from today onwards, you say all the words, you say them clearly. And I know that you're not, a few of you must be working, but if you're not working right now, and if you're just living with your family, from today onwards, I need you to start speaking slower the way you speak right now. There are a lot of people who speak slowly, but speaking slowly and speaking clearly has a lot of difference, right? So when you say speaking slowly, it doesn't mean like the production of sounds involves the coordinated movement of the lips. It becomes so boring, nobody wants to talk to you. So basically, what I meant is rate of the speech should be exactly the way a person is understanding your point, number one. And number two, you're not eating the last words. So statement, say, pehla word and last word should be very clear. Are we clear? Rate of speech. Number three is the voice modulation, which we already talked about, the tone of your voice, voice modulating. We'll talk about that later in the section. Voice modulation is an entire section, which I would like to talk about. So voice modulation is basically you talking in the perfect emotion which you would like to emote at that particular situation. Like, for example, if you are in a grieving mode, if you are happy, you should modulate your voice. बहुत दुख हुआ, ये हुआ आपके साथ. You can't say that, right? This is where we have to modulate your voice. I'm extremely sorry you had to face this. This is how you modulate. I'm very happy to know that your weekend went great. I'm really happy that you are successful in your life, but I'm very sorry that this happened to you. The way you modulate, it's the most important part, right? Last but not the least in articulation is manage pauses. Now, as I've mentioned to you in the earlier section that you have to take a pause and not say ah and what I meant was you manage your pauses. Now, what if I say like, you know what, I would like to tell you something today, and I just sit here and think about a pause, as if Divya Mishra has told us to take a pause, and now you're taking a 15 minutes pause, and then you're saying something. No, you have to manage your pauses. So for example, if I don't know anything in a sentence, I basically take a pause. I take a 5-second pause, I take a 8-second pause, but not more than that. So you have to manage your pauses. You can't take a pause for too long. You can't take a pause for too short. Like for example, articulation refers to making a sounds. So you cannot go like that. Yeah. So you have to understand how you manage your pauses. It depends on person to person. I cannot exactly tell you how you manage it because you are the one talking. I'm not the one who's talking. Right? Good. Are we good with articulation? Any questions? It's a little difficult and complex topic. So I want you all to be very clear with the art of articulation. Any questions for articulation? Anybody? Anybody like to ask anything? Hello, are we there? Okay, I got that. I think that was some alien talking to me. Anybody would like to say anything? Is everybody clear with articulation? Because I can't see you all I can see is my screen. So please say something. If you understood, you didn't understand. Anything you would like to say, anything?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
It's clear, okay.
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Yes, ma'am, it is clear.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so now it's time for me to make you exercise. Now, I'm not going to make you exercise physically. I'm going to say, you should do some, crunches and weightlifting. It's time for you to exercise your voice. Now, I'm going to stop my sharing. And so you can see me all properly. Once again. Oh, shit. You can see me all? Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So today we are going to be starting with the exercises of your voice. Now, how many of you have ever exercised your voice? Tell me something about it. Have you ever exercised your voice, your articulators, your nasal regulators? Anybody has ever done that before? I would like to know if anyone has ever done that.
Yes, I have done it.
Preeti, yes. You are into yoga, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, people have very misconception about voice. That is, when you speak loud, you attract people. I mean, you attract the attention of people. It's
Correct.
not more about the voice. It's about how you speak and how you communicate. Like your voice should be whatever word you're pronouncing the next should matter. And when you're saying that word, that one sentence should be complete. And the second, when you are starting the second sentence, it should start with some meaning. It's not about rushing. So that is the most important thing when we go for, I mean, like go for anchoring or go for something like speech thing. It is
Yes,
very
yes.
important to focus on this thing.
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. So, whenever I say the power of voice, it doesn't mean that I'm just going to say, share a few slides and now you're good to go with your voice. No. So, voice is a basic thing like your body, which needs to be exercised every single day, right? So, if all of you could come on the video mode, it would be wonderful. If not, I would like you all to unmute yourself, because now we're going to be doing an exercise, few exercises. It calls a vocal warm-up. Okay, so basically whenever you have an opportunity where you have to speak, also in general, also if you would have any opportunity where you have to speak continuously, like this opportunity in which I have to speak continuously, so I do few vocal warm-ups which you should indulge in your daily life so that you can have a great voice. Okay, so it's important that we understand that your voice is coming from a lot of directions in your body. So you speak with your lips, right? You speak with your tongue. You speak with your upper part of your mouth, which we call the palate. The what you call as the I forgot, talva. And we speak with our basically your vocal cords, your breathing, your chest, everything together, and also your tummy. So I've been the part of theater for a very long time, and I have learned the art of speaking from my stomach. Now, whatever is coming out right now from my mouth is not coming out from my vocal cords. It's basically coming out from my stomach, and which is why the projection of my voice is exactly it should be. It's not like a very low voice. It's not like I'm shouting on you all. It's basically projecting my voice exactly the way it is, right? So it will take time for you all to start learning how to speak from your stomach. But today we're going to be talking only about how to exercise your voice. Now, this is going to look funny. I'm going to look like a very funny joker right now. But to start up with, we have to start exercising our vocal cords. So number one exercise is, putting your tongue out like this, and start shouting like a tiger. So basically what we do, can you see me? Can you see me? Is this funny? So basically, you put your tongue out and say, ha, like this. Do it with me. Do it with me. Do it with me. Ha. Do it. Please unmute yourself and do it, because I can't hear you all. It becomes very one-sided when I can't hear. So just unmute yourself, put your tongue out, and shout like a tiger. Ha. 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2. Last. 1, 2, 3. 3. Now, can you feel a little itch in your throat? Can you feel a little uncomfortable here in your throat area? Are you feeling a little itchy, like little discomfort over here? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
What we are doing in this exercise is that we are basically opening up your vocal cords. जो बहुत दिनों से घर के अंदर बंद बैठी थी क्वारंटीन होके, वो अब तक बाहर नहीं निकली हैं. So now we have to exercise our vocal cords, right? So we did this 3 times. Now we're going to be doing a very cute exercise called the humming bee exercise. Now, when you hum, you basically create a lot of texture in your voice. So it's like basically saying Om, but with the mouth closed. So you start with and try to go as deep as you can. Basically try to make it as depthful as you can, right? So you do it. Keep doing it for another 15 seconds. If you can feel the vibration that you are creating inside your mouth is going all over your body. If you can feel the vibration, it's going all over the body. So it's basically you're saying Om, but inside your throat and inside your stomach. So you say, Can you feel the vibration? Can you feel the vibration?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So when you create a vibration, you are opening up your vocal cords, also your chest area. You are opening up this area because when you speak, this area is also involved. Right? So now have we vocaled up, basically warming up the vocal cords and your chest area. Now it's time to, warm up your articulators. Now, what is articulator? As I've mentioned, it's basically your lips, your teeth, your upper side of your mouth, and your vocal cords, and also your breathing. So we'll do a little vocal warm-up. I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. And out. Slowly take a deep breath in once again. And out. Okay? Now just surrender for a second. Feel it. And calm yourself down. Now, number one exercise that we do for the articulators is your tongue. Your tongue is the most important articulator because you're constantly moving it, right? So one is your tongue. Now, what you have to do with your tongue is you put your tongue out like this and roll it back. So basically, the final action is like this. Can you see it? You have to hold this pose for minimum 10 seconds, like this. Number 10. You can feel a little like it's slightly painful when you do it for the first time, but this exercise needs to be practiced 3 times with 10 seconds repetitions. So basically you do it for 10 seconds, 3 times, right? So you just roll your tongue inside and hold it. This will make your tongue more basically it will move very smoothly when you are talking. So the words that you're talking will come out very nicely from your mouth, right? That is number 2. Now, number 3 is it's also a face yoga exercise, but it also helps in your articulation, and that is Basically, we are exercising our mouth. जो कभी exercise हुआ ही नहीं है. We try to exercise the body. We are lifting up weights, but we are not lifting up the face. We are not lifting up our vocal cords. So number 2 is you do this. You have to do this 10 times. So do it with me. All right. Can you feel a little pain in your mouth? Can everybody feel it? Like a little, like ऐसा कभी feel हुआ है? पहले आपने कभी किया ये सब? Like all these exercises, have you ever done this before?
Yes, ma'am. At morning time.
In the end, I think you must have done it. But it's basically a very good exercise to warm up your mouth. Basically, you're exercising your mouth, which has not been exercised for a very long time, right? Okay. So I'm going to be sharing screen for the third exercise. And that is even funnier. So, one second. You can see my screen, right? Can you see it?
Not yet, ma'am.
1 second. Okay. Now you have to create a humming sound. Now, humming sound is it's like a very old sound, which children always make. So basically, whenever you have to, play with a child, you make that sound. So basically what you have to do is you have to make a sound like, if you can see, whenever you are playing with a kid, you always make that sound. So you are creating a humming sound on your lips, and you have to do it with a full strength and full power, so that you can feel a little itchy towards, like inwards your lip area. So you do this and create a sound. Feel the buzz on your lips. Right? Are you with me? Are you doing it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it for another 5 times. Right. Okay. That's it. Now, warm up your articulators. Now, these 3 words, topeka, topeka, and topeka, is involving all your articulators. Okay, so this is basically a lower pitch, a higher pitch, topeka, topeka, and topeka. And number 2nd is bodega, bodega, bodega. It's basically using your vocal cords and also your chest area. So topeka, bodega. So when you practice this at home, you can write these things down, topeka and bodega. It's basically it's an excellent warm up for your articulators. So people who do opera, or people who do stand-up comedy, people who are into acting, people who do public speaking, you are into business and all, you're doing your business thing. So whenever you have to have an opportunity where you have to speak, you can quickly go to the washroom and warm your articulators up with these 2 exercises. This is basically saying topeka, 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 bodega, bodega, bodega. You see, you do that repetitively and play with the pitch and rhythm. So what do you mean by pitch? Say it loudly, say it very very low volume. Then rhythm is basically you're saying topeka, 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 bodega, 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 topeka, 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 bodega, bodega, bodega. So it's basically playing with your articulators, right? Okay. So this is basically an exercise which is a kind of a vocal warm-up which we just did, and you can do this exercise every single day for minimum 5 minutes, and you can see a drastic change in your articulators, the way you speak, the way the voice is coming out, and the articulators, right? So this is the exercise. Now, next up, we are coming up with the 7 C's of effective communication. Now, when we talk about communication, there are a few things we need to be very careful about. And number 1 is concrete. Whatever information that you are passing to the other person, the person who is listening to you, should be concrete. Stay with the content. Don't go here and there, and whatever you're saying should be very factual, should come from a very reputable source of information. It could be any news or something, but it should be concrete. Stick to the point wherever you are. Now, coherent means that your whatever you say, it should be logical. You shouldn't be saying things which they have no logic at all, right? They should be coherent. Number 3 is commitment. So whenever you speak, it's very important that you are committed to your statements. Whatever you're saying is true, because if you're not saying something which is true, you might fumble, you might not be able to say it clearly if it's not true, right? So the commitment towards your statements, the commitment towards the way you're talking, whatever you're saying, it has to be true. The commitment is very important. Number 3 is consistency. Now, consistency involves a lot of things. It involves your tone. It involves your pitch. It involves the way you're talking. So consistency, whatever you're talking, maintain that consistency throughout your conversation. Don't just, do a lot of voice modulation in which people are not able to understand what you're saying. So maintain that consistency throughout your conversation. Now, courteous. If you are in a formal setting, you have to show some courtesy. Like it could be an informal setting also. It could be a formal setting also. But you have to be courteous towards your listeners. Then we have completeness. Completeness I've already talked about. It means basically, when you say something, your statement should be complete. Don't just eat the last two words of your sentence. Make your statements complete. Last is clarity, right? Clarity we've already spoken about, which means like your statement should be complete, and the clarity part we've already discussed. Next up is effective. Who is an effective communicator basically? So it's someone who's confident, someone who is patient. So when I say patient means you should be a good listener as well. Listening is an altogether different subject. We cannot talk about it right now, but I just wanted to put it in so that you can understand that it's a very important part of your conversation. If you are confident, you have to be patient also. If you're confident towards your speaking, you have to be patient towards the person who is saying something to you, even if you are the communicator. Then doesn't beat around the bush. What it means is that, again, I'm going to repeat the same thing. It's basically you talking about and sticking to the content you're talking about. Like basically, whenever you are talking about something, actually don't just keep beating around the bush. You have to stick to your content and say what you want to say straight away, right? Number 3 is practice active listening. Obviously, active listening is one of the most important part of communication, because communication is a two-way thing. You say thing, someone says something, you listen, you say communicate again. So the active listening is important. If someone is saying something and you're not attentive towards them, and you say something which you have no idea about what they said, then it's going to be a big disaster. So you really have to understand the importance of listening, right? Give your whole attention. So when you are saying something, it's important that your words are your own, which is when you can give your whole attention towards what you are talking about. If you care about what you talk about, you can talk about it very fluently. But if you don't care about it, you cannot talk about it fluently. So you have to give your whole attention. Now, last but not the least, your body tells a story about you. So body, like even if you're not saying something, but your gestures, the way your expressions are, that's really important. Even when you're not, whenever you say a word, and if you're just standing somewhere and people are noticing you, they can tell a story what this person is, thinking. This person is, trying to say something or trying to portray something through the body. So when we talk about body, the important aspects are basically the power pose. Whenever you are talking to someone, it's important that your hands are not together like this. You are you're standing in a position where you feel that something you're not confident about. Your pose should be very powerful. When you stand, it's really important to have a powerful pose. Number 2 is your eye contact. When you say something to someone and you look them into the eyes, they really care about it. If you're just talking to someone and just like looking here and there, idhar dekh rahe, udhar dekh rahe, and you're not talking to them, you're just trying to blabber whatever information that you have, and you're not looking to them, it's really embarrassing. You should always have a good eye contact whenever you're talking to someone. Number 3 is hand gestures. Now, if I'm talking to you, my hands are always here, right? My hands are always below, like above the chest area, because right now it's in a webinar. If it would have been a seminar, then meri movement hoti, I would have moved here and there on the stage. But right now it's a webinar. You can see the half. You can only see me half. So I want the gestures to be more positive. I want whatever I'm saying, I can also communicate through my hand gestures. So hand gestures are really important. Don't overdo it, but don't underdo it. Like if I'm saying I'm saying things, I'm not moving my hands, it's going to look very foolish, right? Then we have movement. This belongs to the category where we are on the stage and saying something. So you keep moving, you do your hand gestures, and it's going to look beautiful. Then expressions. What if I'm talking to you and I'm just, my face is like this and I'm talking to you about something. I'm like, look, and I'm saying things and my expressions are not matching with what I'm trying to say. It's going to look disastrous. So your expressions are really important when you're talking, but don't over express your thoughts. You just have to express it. If you might have to just have a small smile when you're like a very little smile if you are talking to someone, and it could do wonders to your communication. Then mannerisms. Now mannerisms are basically your if someone is saying something and you want to talk about something and people are here and there, how you are handling that situation, your mannerisms are really important. Like if someone is have their both hands on the table and you're just sitting like person who really don't care about anything, then your mannerisms comes into action. You basically be a good listener, put your shoulders up and stand still or sit still and try to understand what the other person is saying. So your mannerisms count really well. Now breathing. When we are talking, we keep blabbering. Sometimes I also blabber. Like right now when I talk, I forgot that I had to breathe also. So take a pause and breathe. You can take some deep breaths and then you can talk. Because when we are talking, we forget that we have to breathe also. So breathe. Now end is your voice, which we've already spoken about. The power of voice, right? That is voice. Now, important points is energy. Energy, even if you speak softly, think loudly. If anybody can tell me what it means when I say, even if you speak softly, think loudly. Anybody would like to tell me about this? Any idea? When I say speak softly and think loudly. Any idea? Anybody has any idea? No?
It means before you speak something, you should be a good listener also.
Actually, no. So what happens is that whenever you're saying something, like I want to say, for example, whoever is in the audience right now, I say one name and I say, I want you to be the best version of yourself. Like, for example, if I say like best version of yourself, it looks stupid, right? But the way I say it, I have to think of best loudly in my mind, that I want this person to be at the best foot forward. So I say, hey, you know what? You should be at the best way possible you can be. So even if you're thinking best, कि best को बहुत best तरीके से बोलना, it doesn't mean that you say it very loudly, like literally shouting on someone's face, like you should do best in your life. No, you don't have to say like that, right? So you basically
that you are shouting at that person. Or,
yeah, don't shout. Yeah, correct. So basically, don't shout. And even if you think softly, think loudly, speak that particular word very softly, right? That is very important. Number 2 is energy is direct result in how much you care about what is happening. Like, for example, if this webinar, I don't care about this webinar. I really don't care. So I will just, start blabbering things which I don't even really care about. Even if you're saying something, you should care about that particular situation. Energy is a direct result how much you care about what is happening. So if I know I care about this webinar, I care about whatever the information I'm passing it to you right now should be correct, and I care about it. So I'll speak confidently. But if I'm not caring about anything, I don't care about all of you, I will not do the best way possible I can. This is where energy kicks in. Now, pauses. As I've already mentioned, pauses are wonderful, if dramatic and effective, and they are taken at the right length. So basically, whenever you are talking, you have to say something, you have to say a statement, and in between you have to take a pause. Sometimes we say and which is fine, but it shouldn't be the entire, like for example, if you have to say 50 words, 30 words shouldn't be and It could be just once or twice or maybe 5 times, not more than that. So pauses are wonderful if dramatic. Like for example, if I say, you know what, this person said something and I was so mesmerized by that person, the way he has taken things out. This is how we take a pause. It's not like, you know what, I had a word with that person and suddenly, and you look like a dumb person who doesn't know anything. So don't take those pauses for like too long. It should be at right length. This should be dramatic. When you say something, be a storyteller. Whenever you say something, people should be caring about what you are saying. And that's when the power of communication kicks in, right? Then, few thoughts which I feel that, from a person who I really follow when it comes to communication is John C. Maxwell, and he says that persuasive communication involves enthusiasm, animation, audience participation, which I am feeling very people are not participating today, but audience participation, authenticity, and spontaneity. When you say something, you have to show the enthusiasm that you really care about that conversation. You have to be animated. Like when I say something, I always try to make sure that people are not getting bored of me. Although sometimes it gets boring because you're transferring knowledge. It's a KT, it's a knowledge transfer, but you have to be a little animated. You just can't say what like persuasive combination involves enthusiasm, animation, audience participation, authenticity, and spontaneity. It'll look stupid, right? So you have to animate yourself a little bit. Audience participation is really important. You have to involve people in your conversations when you're making conversations. Authenticity, it has to be authentic. Whatever you say, it has to be true. It has to have some, it should be factual, and it's spontaneous. Just don't stop in between too much. Then we have the most important thing in communication is to hear what isn't being said. Now, when you talk to someone, it's not like they are saying things all the time. They say, you know what, this happened, and I was like, and they say they use some expression, right? And you have to read that expression, what it meant. What is that non-verbal thing that happened in this conversation? And you have to get it. And you can only get it when you are a good listener. So you have to understand and analyze the big picture in the conversation that happened. And at the same time, you have to understand the non-verbal things that happened. जो नहीं कहा गया, उसको भी सुनना बहुत जरूरी है. Like the silence is very important. Your silence, there's one thing called silence speaks volumes. When I don't say anything, I'm also saying a lot of things. So it's very important that in communication is to hear what isn't being said, right? So this is, I had for you for this 1 hour thing. And once again. So yeah, can you see me? I'm actually very new to Google Meet, which is why I'm a little confused here and there. But this was a small presentation which I felt is really necessary. 1 hour is really not enough for all of you to understand what communication is. I have a very deep insight on all these power of voice techniques and tools, which I cannot cover in 1 hour, but I tried my best to cover it in the 1 hour. And the most important part is from today onwards, I want you to practice all these things in your day-to-day communication. It doesn't have to be people who are in the office or a formal setting. You can start speaking the way I need you to speak with your father, with your mom, with your brother or sisters. It could be anyone, right? So yeah, this was me with the presentation, and this is the power of voice, which I wanted to talk about. Now I would like to ask you all, what did you understand? And is there anything else I can help you with? Any questions, anything you couldn't understand in the presentation? I would love to know. Hello, anybody there? I have to admit that people are not talking here. We are talking about the power of communication, but no one.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Shruti.
It was such a lovely session. I'm like feeling like that childhood. I'm still a kid. We used to do this thing when we were in our childhood memories, like. So that's why I would prefer that you can take this kind of session, once in a week or in a month.
Shruti, I can't hear you properly somehow. I don't know why.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, now you're audible. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like that. We used to do these kind of things when we were kid and we were playing with our friends. So that's why that we are driving like this, the tongue twister, that tongue wala roller coaster.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, That's
Yes,
why
yes.
it was just a lovely session, and I really love that because I joined in the middle of the session. But now
Okay.
I'm like that if you can, of course, arrange this kind of session at least for an hour, it will be great for us.
Sure, Shruti. Thank you. Thank you for your lovely comment. And whatever I've spoken about are very basic things. It's just that we're not utilizing them to our fullest potential. And that's what I'm here for. I want you all, I need you all to, use that at the best way possible. Because whatever you are, wherever you say, whatever you say, it's the way you say things. Like, for example, if I've come here and I was like, hello everyone, today I'm here to tell you something about the voice. And like, ये तो ढंग से बात करनी रही है, ये क्या voice के बारे में बताएगी? It's basically the way you say things. It's the most important part. And the way you say things involves a lot of other things. Your tone, your pitch, your clarity, your articulation. And let me tell you something, that when I started my career, I used to be an introvert. Someone told me that they want to turn themselves into an extrovert. It's not possible to turn yourself into an extrovert. You can always polish yourself. You can always learn the art. You can always learn things, but you cannot change the way you are. You don't have to change the way you are. You cannot make a communicator, but you can always refine them. You can always polish them. When I started my career, I didn't know how to talk. I was an introvert person. I really didn't know how to talk. Even if I was into journalism and all, I did my journalism actually, but I didn't know how to talk. So I learned all these things by experience, by time. It takes time, but now no one was there to tell me how we should be communicating with people. But as by experience, by talking to people, by communicating, by in the profession that I am now, I feel that these tools are so important for everyone, especially people who are into businesses, people who are leaders, people who are public speakers, anyone in between. Like it could be you going to your office, talking to your boss, and the way you communicate things can change the entire game for you, right? So my last words for this webinar would be, understand the power of communication. Just don't say things because you want to say them. कहते हैं ना कि सिर्फ कहने के लिए चीजें मत कहिए. Whenever you say things, say them that you really mean them. There has to be a clarity. You say whatever you say has some meaning, some logic, and also use your articulators properly so that you can be clear with your voice, with your words, right? Yeah, so this is me. Hina, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there, Divya. Divya, you were fantastic, and thank you so much for being here with us and actually enlightening us with your knowledge. It was really nice having you here with us at Financial Yari.
Thank you so much.
And secondly, I'd like to share a piece of information to every one of you present here, that this thing has been posted live on YouTube, and please go check out Financial Yari's page, wherein you can find this webinar over there with Divya Mishra. And you can of course look at it at like as many times as you like, and it's totally free. So please go and check it out once again if you want. And secondly, the orientation feedback. This feedback form will be shared to you after this webinar gets over, and you'll get your participation certificates after you fill the feedback form. So that's all from our end, and thank you so much for being here, everyone. And Divya, thank you so much. You were actually really great.
Thank you so much, Hinal, and everyone who's here. You can follow me on Instagram by Divya Mishra 4. I keep posting a lot of stuff. I have my own radio channel where you can see and learn how I speak, so that you can inculcate all those tools in your communicating toolbox, what I would like to say. So you can follow me there. You can follow me on LinkedIn. I keep posting there also. I have my own podcast. I'll also share that. I'll tell Hinal to share it with you all. So you can do that too. In the meantime, keep practicing. Practicing is the only thing that is going to make you perfect. So keep practicing. 1 hour was not enough, but I wish I had more time and I could spend it with you all and share more of what I know. So thank you, Vaibhav. I see a lot of comments. Thank you so much, Bishakhi, Nandita. Please send in the feedbacks in the feedback form. It's really important to me. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening and an awesome Saturday. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Say bye at least. No one say
Bye,
bye.
ma'am.
No one say
Bye,
bye.
ma'am.
Please say bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.